Mabuhay! We're back once again to another video report presentation where we learn and discover about Philippine tourism laws. So in this presentation, we will tackle the chapter 15 in which it focuses on an essential foundation of our industry, which is tourism and hospitality management education in the Philippines. By the way, this is Maria LMP Onyot of BSHM 3A speaking and hoping that you'll learn something at the end of this video. So this chapter covers 10 topics, which is first is the CHED curriculum guidelines, second is the school facilities requirements, third is student practicum or OJT, fourth is the international practicum program or IPTP, and fifth is school accreditation and the regulation, sixth is tuition fee regulations, seventh is sexual harassment in schools, eighth is random drug testing, ninth is tertiary education equivalency, and 10th is foreign students in the Philippines. So that's all for our topic outline. So also here's the learning objectives for this chapter. At the end of this lesson, students are expected to first differentiate schools abiding with laws from those that are not and tourism-related technical vocational programs. Second is identify the requirements in the opening and operation of a tourism or hospitality management programs. And last but not the least is identify the laws governing various issues in tourism and hospitality education. So that's all for introduction part, and now let's move on to the discussion proper. So here's the first part is the curriculum in tourism and hospitality management education. So let's begin with the curriculum. So the Commission on Higher Education or CHED is the governing body responsible for ensuring that the quality of education in the Philippines meets national and global standards. For both the Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management and Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management, CHED provides detailed guidelines through what are called PSGs or Policies, Standards, and Guidelines. These programs are designed to be comprehensive, and these include general education subjects, such as communication, math, and social sciences. We also have the business and management courses covering finance, marketing, entrepreneurship, and more. So, professional subjects related directly to tourism and hospitality, such as tourism planning, culinary arts, and front office operations. And most importantly, practicum or on-the-job training to ensure students gain real-world experience. So overall, CHED's goal is to produce graduates who are globally competitive, ethically grounded, and ready to work in diverse hospitality and tourism environments. Now let's proceed to school laboratories and CHED requirements. So we look at the required physical facilities. So for a school to offer a program in tourism or hospitality, it must meet CHED's laboratory requirements. These include first is a mock hotel room to stimulate guest handling and housekeeping. Second is a kitchen and food laboratory for culinary and food service training. Third one is a bar and beverage lab for bartending and beverage management, and a simulated travel and tours office for booking, ticketing, and itinerary preparation. So these labs must reflect real-world industry operations. CHED regularly inspects these facilities to ensure they are functional and up-to-date. And if a school lacks these labs, it may not be authorized to offer the program. Another one is the student practicum or apprenticeship. So one of the most exciting parts of the program is the student practicum or OJT. So CHED requires a minimum of 600 hours of hands-on training in which training can take place in hotels, resorts, airlines, travel agencies, and even cruise lines. So the establishment must be accredited by CHED or the Department of Tourism. So this component is crucial in helping students transition from academic knowledge to industry practice. This helps build confidence, professionalism, and familiarity with actual work environments. So now let's move further to another topic, which is the International Practicum Training Program or the IPTP. So now, for students who take their practicum abroad, the program becomes even more regulated. The International Practicum Training Program or IPTP involves multiple agencies and strict oversight from CHED. So here's the qualifications for agencies. So they must be SEC registered, must have CHED accreditation, must hold a valid MOA with foreign partner institutions, and lastly, must demonstrate the ability to provide safe, legal, and educational training abroad. Also, here's the obligations of agencies, and agencies must have: first, process students' visas and legal documents. Second is provide insurance and medical coverage. Third is to ensure students are treated as trainees, not workers. And lastly is monitor training activities and student welfare. And note that training programs must not exploit students or subject them to dangerous or unfair conditions. So also, operation, implementation, and monitoring. So CHED and home schools must first evaluate agency partners, approve the training plan, and last but not the least is monitor student progress and gather feedback. So what could be the duration of training? So normally, limited to 1 academic term, and extensions require CHED approval. So if there's a sanctions, so these are the things to look upon. So non-compliance may lead to suspension or cancellation of permits, blacklisting of the agency, and last but not the least is legal actions for violations of student to labor rights. So here we have our accreditation and the regulation of schools. So let's now talk about this one, especially for schools. So particularly how the Commission on Higher Education recognizes institutions based on their performance and quality of education. So CHED grants a special status to schools that consistently exceed academic and operational standards. These recognitions are not given lightly. They reflect a school's proven commitment to excellence in instruction, research, and community engagement. So there are two main types of recognition under this. First is we have accredited status, in which this is granted to specific programs within a school that have passed quality assurance evaluations. It means that a program meets or surpasses the minimum requirements set by CHED and other accrediting bodies. It is a mark of quality and reliability for students and parents alike. Second is CHED may grant autonomous or deregulated status to inter-institutions that consistently demonstrate outstanding performance. These are schools known for their academic excellence, strong faculty, robust research output, and excellent management. So what makes this important is that schools with these special statuses are given greater academic freedom. For instance, they can revise curricula, introduce new programs, or establish international partnership without needing prior approval from CHED. This flexibility allows them to respond more quickly to global trends and the needs of the industry, ensuring that their students receive education that is not only current but also competitive. Next is a topic that hits close to home for every student, which is the tuition fees. So under Philippine law, private higher education institutions or HEIs can only increase tuition on other school fees if they first secure approval from the Commission on Higher Education. But it's not as simple as just applying for increase. There are important steps that must be followed. First, consultations must be conducted with key stakeholders, especially students and their parents, to ensure transparency and dialogue. Second, schools are required to give proper notice periods before any new fees take effect, giving families time to prepare. Moreover, any approved increase must be fairly allocated. So a portion of the additional fees must go toward faculty development, student scholarships, or improvement of school facilities, not just a profit. So and most importantly, if a tuition hike is just found to be excessive or unjustified, students and concerned parties have the right to question it, and it may even be reversed. Let's now talk about a very serious matter, which is the sexual harassment in the academy. So under Republic Act of 7877, also known as the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995, any form of sexual harassment in schools is considered as punishable offense. This includes unwanted sexual advances from teachers, professors, or any school personnel. It also covers situations where there's an implicit or explicit demand for sexual favors, whether in exchange for grades, recommendations, or other academic benefits. If the behavior causes harm to a student's academic performance, psychological well-being, or sense of dignity, it qualifies as harassment under the law. So to address this, schools are legally required to form committees on decorum and investigations. These committees handle complaints, investigate cases, and recommend appropriate sanctions. Institutions must also have clear international policies in place and are expected to protect complainants, ensure confidentiality, and uphold due process at all times. Now let's move further for another topic, which is the random drug testing. So drug prevention is also a top priority in schools, especially in colleges and universities. So under Republic Act of 9165 of the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act, along with CHED, DOH, joint circulars, schools are allowed to conduct random drug testing among college students. But this process is strictly regulated. It must be confidential, non-punitive, and focused on intervention, not punishment. The goal is to help, not to harm. Students must be given proper notice, and their rights must be respected throughout the process. Most importantly, the results of these tests are to be used solely for counseling or rehabilitation purposes, never as grounds for expulsion or public shame. So this approach reflects the heart of the policy. It's all about care and prevention, not punishment. The focus is on guiding students toward a healthier, drug-free life. And to the last topic, which is the tertiary education equivalency. So for professionals who are already working in the industry but haven't earned a college degree, CHED offers an alternative pathway through the ETEAP, which stands for Expanded Tertiary Education Equivalency and Accreditation Program. This program allows qualified individuals to earn a bachelor's degree by recognizing their work experience, skills, and prior learning without having to go through the traditional 4-year route. However, not all schools can offer this. It is available only at CHED-authorized institutions that have been accredited to implement the program. So ATAAP is especially valuable for professionals like chefs, tour guides, travel agents, or hotel staff who have years of hands-on experience and wants to formalize their qualifications to advance in their careers. Finally, let's talk about foreign students studying in the Philippines. So for a foreign national to legally study in the country, there are specific requirements they must meet. First, they need to secure a student visa, which grants them legal permission to stay and pursue their education here. Second, they must enroll in a college or university that is officially recognized by the Commission on Higher Education, and which this ensures that the institution meets national academic standards. Lastly, the student's presence and enrollment must be properly reported to both CHED and the Bureau of Immigration. This process helps monitor and regulate the entry of foreign students. By following these steps, the Philippines promotes academic internationalization, welcoming diverse perspectives into its classroom, while maintaining legal compliance and safeguarding the integrity of the education system. So, this supports academic internationalization while ensuring lawful and safe participation of foreign nationals in our education system. Alright, so that's all for our video presentation for this chapter 15, and I hope you learned something. But before I end this presentation, I will leave a quote to ponder upon. And this quote is from Aristotle, in which it said that it is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. So I chose this one as this reminds me that challenges and pain are not meant to break us, but to shape us. In moments of sadness, confusion, or failure, it's easy to feel lost, but that's also when we grow the most. So the light isn't always a solution right away. It could be hope, strength, or a small reminder of what matters. So I've realized that it's in those tough times I discover who I really am and what I am capable of overcoming. Choosing to look for the light, even when it feels far, is an act of courage, and it's what brings us through to better days. So again, my name is Maria Ellen P. Onyot of BSHM 3A, and I hope you learned something, and let's see to another video presentation. Goodbye.